So check this out, right? You know how people act like it's impossible to imagine something as basic as like a heart attack gun, even though they are, I forget who it is. Somebody was shot with a dissolvable dart before. I just can't remember who it is, but I mean, so I can't use this argument. I can't use this argument, but like they did it back in the 70s or some shit. Um, no, not. Let me tell them. Okay, I couldn't let it sit there and just be like food in there. So why do you think that when that thing that happens, this event that everybody feels like something is happening, and some people wigging out and easily see, you know what I mean, doing sloppy, making mistakes that they couldn't make, or why do you think that gunpowder wouldn't blow up and that gas wouldn't burn, or why do you think that magicians would be able to fly because they're covered their whole body in baby lard and they have symbols to protecting them from angels? You know, because they have to be able to fly, obviously, because people would catch them, and they need the symbols to protect them from like what the fuck? Why is that possible? Well, let me say, what's the difference if what was it? If there's readily is easily affordable and available for everybody to participate in coercion to rush you to take a vaccine. It used to take 10 years to make a vaccine, like to do all these. Anytime you know it's a scam, it's because you break your rule that you would never break, except for this one time we didn't have a choice. Like this time is different. Without that thinking, you can't even be set up for the scam, because they wouldn't be able to convert your time into whatever it is that the scammer does with time. That's why I say don't give time to scammers. You don't even know what it is they're doing. They're willing to let you feel sorry for them or make you feel inferior, or they'll, you know what I mean, you feel like you want to, like greedy, like, oh, I'm about to take advantage of you. Like they flip, and then they just need to continue it, and they'll evolve the scam, and then you won't be, the longer time you give them, the harder it is to sweat them out. You can't chelate. You can't sweat them out. It's like a parasite. It's gonna get into the blood-brain barrier. Through you're finished. The more time that you give them, you can still survive it. You know what I mean? Like sooner, but so if I mean, because like it's bad worse than you think, because you know, in order for you to go up in a position at work, you have to get comfortable with doing things to the entry level people, which is they're younger, you know what I mean, and you're aiming the thermometer thing in your head. This is normal now. This is the new normal. And then I just go out to eat, and then they aim it at my hand. Like, what does it do in my arm? It works like that? Yeah, it's vaporware. It works, but you just don't have to know why it's for that it works for them to run the vaporware scam. That it started off as people aiming these like stupid radar guns at people as they drove by, and they thought that they were going to get a read off. What does a readout look like for COVID when you're using a radar gun? Do you know that the test for a positive COVID result is an H1N1 swine flu test, and that it's because they didn't have a test to diagnose COVID? Then if you false positive, basically if you showed up negative for swine flu, then you were given a positive for COVID. Now, the schemes just seem to, just like, the more complacent you are, the more that anything man can imagine man has already done with the technology that existed 30 years ago. That for some strange reason, it's only when somebody suggesting that this is impossible that make you wonder about them, if it's a red flag, if you're a red flag. So that's pretty much equal to a magician flying around coated with baby lard. You know, and if you can imagine that, why do they have the ability to fly? Well, it's in the baby lard, obviously. Baby fat. It's evil. Shit, you put that all over your body, you could fly. But I always understand that you're on some other shit. And the angels will fuck you up. So you gotta be covered in symbols. You know, it's a far-ranging conspiracy. Then you can imagine that people will go knocking down every door in every neighborhood looking for virgins because they haven't fucked. They haven't been. They don't have the herpes. How does that make sense? The way they do it is going to be vaccine clinical trials, man. Clinical fucking trials that get rushed through that they wouldn't even fucking test on a rat or a mouse. How many times can you stand to find out about later on what they're doing and expect to keep up when they're gaining the genomes? And then there's why is why. Why is always still why? Like, why is still why? So it's going to require the government get the whole hell out of marriage licenses, because it's just the fact that if somebody's doing bad stuff, it's not a problem if they wasn't under the moniker of this is morally grounded, hermeneutically grounded morals and the dogma that is of the religion that is consistent with the church. Basically, that's a problem for them to be able to get away with doing it, and they want that piece of paper, boy. How do you got these people need a piece of paper? When did they convince us that we all didn't need to stop whatever it is that we're doing and building because this piece of paper is crucial? Not even that it's going to help you. You just know it's crucial. So come tell me that that's not robots and zombies and shit. I don't see any with my eyes. I don't see them. You know what I mean? All I see is the neo-Nazis and calling each other cyborg. Like, I don't give a fuck about all that shit. You just, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it is funny though about the part about when the Lord makes the sin impossible, that the people who are still looking for that piece of paper aren't gonna like it, and they're gonna start feeling anxious. I don't know what it is. I feel anxious right now. I don't even know if it's like Darth Vader, if they have to see, the point to which the government, finally decides to let the church take over, either the Orthodox or Catholicism, and then they would just be like, hold on, what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we were just maintaining these, it's just like another subsidy, like, or you just want to, do you want to explain why you can become a commodity because there's one agency that knows how to withdraw your Social Security? It's like, I didn't know this money existed. It's for me, and it's a lot of money. I mean, typically, you want to tap into it ourselves, but you don't have to tap into it yourself if you can just stop one agency from being able to, yerk on the others. You know what I mean? Because it's there for them. It's like either it's your money or it's for them to provide these services until your final disposition or your final regards services that's carried on at the fucking mortuary. Yank. They would get that cash in that Social Security. We got all these sovereign citizens running around talking about how they want to fix your paper, like Brother Polite. Like, there is, well, he doesn't, there was a day before, it was like something was gonna happen, that something must have been done. You know what I mean? Or talking about Brother Polite. But I don't know if I want to echo that, because it was stipulated on something being like presented in a way like the secular Christians would cherry pick in the virtues and go on the other side. It wouldn't be a problem if there was none of that. I'm here to do this and that, but I'm actually going to do that. Or I'm here to do that, but I'm actually going to do this kind of stuff. Like, it's just, let me fix your paperwork. I will help you work out your paperwork, and then you'll get locked into a treaty of peace and an accord with Morocco. You'll be expedited or something. You'll have to go live in Haiti or something like that. There's, if you're in Islam, if you go under, you know what I mean? Because they're going to come for the hermeneutically grounded morals that only you understand. Because if I understand that it's like, if I understand your dogma, then what you do is like I can expect it, like it's consistent. I would be like, oh, cool. He's here for that. That's what he's here to do. What's the problem? Nobody, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not, then you're going to go to jail. If you're in one of those gangs that has 3 letters, you're going to get RICO. And if you're under the banner of Islam, too, you're going to go to Algeria. They're sending you off to Algeria pretty soon. That's why the DOJ's on these little land grabs and shit. Even all the way to Nagorno-Karabakh, I think that's also the DOJ, because the DOJ be above all other agencies. You wonder who's at the top, right? Is it the Jesuits? Is it the Mossad? Or what's the point in the DOJ, Mossad? What's the fucking difference? If they could just say that, we're not here to be a minority anymore at this point. We control shit. We run shit. What's the point of being a minority anymore? Then they'd be cool. Wouldn't it? It's the fact that they have to be generic minorities that makes it a problem.